What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the semifinals of the Summer Classic here. First game, if you've already seen it, you know the result, and if you don't, well, it's 1-0 to Ragnar. He picked first in that game. He won pretty convincingly, so now it's basically my turn to answer back. It's a best of 5, so losing here down 2-0 would be tough, especially with him picking first in game 3. So I went for an interesting pick, but there's a logic behind it. I went for Egypt as my first pick, and you would say, well, Egypt's pretty shit, but that's kind of the point. Is they're so shit that it's kind of hard to find a faction that's actually matching in their strength. Ragnar went for a pretty smart pick, I would say Pergamon. Maybe a bit weaker than Egypt, but it's one of the factions that I would say is a good matchup, because like the other one that's used a lot is Seleucids, but they don't really have a problem beating Egypt in my opinion. With just 2 cataphracts, you can kind of just win, like 4 slingers, 2 cataphracts, that kind of thing. So he's gone for Pergamon. So I decided to stick with Egypt. They've got a bit more going for them, I would say. So Ragnar will get Pergy, I'll get Eggy, and we'll go and see who can take the second game. Alright, so let's go over the armies first. I kind of expected a different army than he brought. I was expecting something a bit more kite heavy, like 4 shock cows and slingers and peltis, that kind of thing, but it's not really what he's gone for. But anyway, my counter to that theoretical army was 4 Tarentines here on the flanks, just going to dominate the flanks with those guys. They're good at killing slingers and shit. And in the late game, obviously, 3 slingers of my own. Of course, they're just shitty Egyptian slingers, but they're like the shitty Greek slingers. They're all shitty slingers, so that's fine. My infantry corps was actually pretty strong. Obviously, Galatia can only bring 4 melee infantry, 4 Galatian swords, so I don't have to worry about bringing too much infantry, so I decided to not go for 6 elite infantry, again, expecting that he would have more cav or something. So I went for 3 thorax swords, sorry, easily enough to win the infantry war, especially because I also have 1 Galatian Royal Guard. These guys are really tough, so infantry war should be in my favor, no problem. At least that's what I was expecting. I also have 2 carrying axemen to round out the infantry corps. Again, expecting cav. These guys have extra javelins, very useful. I also have 3 Egyptian pikemen. Again, just useful to bring the pikes, especially if he has cav. But even against infantry, they can just hold the line. Very useful for that. 1 citizen cav, 2 Egyptian cav is the main cav force, along with the Ptolemaic cav gen. Pretty much the only gen for Egypt that makes any sense these days. Unless you're going to go for infantry gen, but I don't really know why you do that. Ptolemaic cav, quite a nice guy. Good shock cav unit, 63 charge. You know, again, it's a Hellenic shock cav, so it's not cataphract level, but it's good. Anyway, now so that's my army. Pretty standard stuff there. Now for Ragnar, he's gone again not for a cap heavy, kite heavy army, but he's gone for something very different. He's got 2 slingers up front, so again, kind of cheap on that aspect. He has a front line of 3 pikemen and 2 militia hoplites, so again, immediately kind of indicating, no, he's trying to hold the infantry line there. And that's because he has 2 pick peltists, so again, very, very powerful peltists. Definitely expect these guys to Pergamon, because they're the only good unit that Perg kind of has. 10 ammunition, 41 damage, good melee stats, so useful unit that. He has 4 Galatian swords back here. Always expect those as well. But the real killer is he has 3 Agema spears. So again, these guys are like 30s plus. They've got extra jabs, they've got square, they've got good melee stats. So he's going for a very javelin heavy approach, and you can see how it kind of goes with his army, right? You're not going to hit these guys up front with the pick peltis right here. So you're going to flank around, and when you do that, he can throw javelins at you, can get charges, and he's just going to hold the center with these pikes and militia hoplites. He does have 2 Epais Lancers, of course, he needs some cav. He also has 2 Tarentines. So he's gone for a very infantry-heavy army. So my infantry advantage is a bit nullified. I'd still say it's pretty close because these thorax swords are so much better than anything he has. Obviously, the GRG, the Galatian Royal Guard, is the best infantry unit on the field by a very, very wide margin. But he's got the numbers, and he's got the javelins to really cause some havoc there. Cav advantage is in my favor. Just 8 cavalry total for me, 4 for him. And I have the best cav unit. I've got quantity in melee cav. He only has 2 Epais Lancers, and I have 4 Tarentines, which will be crucial. I'm already surrounding, so you can see he's boxed up here. Here I'm trying to bait out a javelin volley. Nothing doing. He runs into my slinger's range here, so I'm going to take the slinger war. It was apparent to me immediately that, look, with so many infantry, it'll be important to keep these slingers with some ammo to be able to kite, because there's a chance that your infantry just loses, but then you have the cav advantage. These Tarentines are surviving, that kind of thing. and you're able to just kite out whatever infantry's left. So that's something I was aware of. Here we're just exchanging some volleys, a bit worse for me. I'm shooting 2-1 against this slinger, so I'll kill it pretty easily. Here it should be kind of even. Although maybe he's double shooting this slinger, I'm not really sure. Here again, trying to just throw some free javelins with this Tarantine on these pikes, one of the slingers, either one. Doesn't really work though, I think I was off fire at will. Here comes the infantry rush, so again, I'm not really going to fight centrally, there's no point. He has pikes here, I can just throw my pikes in front of his pikes and just call it a day and flank with on both flanks, or one flank. So anyway, yeah, pushing forward. I'm going to just like do a couple of like cheap stuff, throwing some javelins at these pikes. I put my Glacier Roller on the extreme flank because I want it to have the shortest distance to travel without getting shot to the flank. Because obviously the fight is going to take place on the flank. So here I just charge, throw the javelins, and then just pull back this Thorax Sword. Don't want it to actually take much fire. It did take a Pick Peltis volley. I wasn't sure if he was going to waste his Pick Peltis ammo on my Thorax Swords, but he does. He has 10 ammo to work with, so you may as well. It doesn't do too much damage though, yet, but it will be HP damage. Here slingers are starting to die, which is good. And this slinger is going to lose because it's not shooting this slinger that's shooting at it. If that makes any sense. Pikes are going to get shot up by his Peltis again, reminiscent of game 1, where he's going to shoot up my pikes. This pike kind of meleeed and went to an engagement. Again, it's doing actually pretty well, but he's getting shot up, so it's just going to rout. I try to pull it back, but not really much going to happen here. Here, I'm going to get the charge on the Agema Spear. Doesn't get any javelins off. Not sure if he was off fire at will, trying to conserve ammo. Also go for a cheeky charge on this slinger to kill it off. And on this flank, I'm also going for the engagement. Right, so my carrying axemen are walking forward. Again, they're going to be useful for javelining these Pace Lancers. Glacier Roller getting in against these Agema Spears, lose a few cav to initiate this fight. Maybe not worth it, and he actually does a good job pulling back here, getting a Pace Lancer charge. I counter charge those, so I get a good javelin volley on these Pace Lancers, but still a charge on the GRG. Here again does this exact same thing, but I'm getting these carrying axemen volleys, so I'm going to kill, hopefully I'd kill some of these Pace Lancers, apparently not, even though I get a lot of javelins off. But he gets a nice counter charge with his Galatian Swords, and my Thorax Swords here are not as good as this flank where I have a GRG, so it's going to be a bit tougher. I try to pull it out and cycle again, flanking around here, still have this around going on. Carrying Axemen are in reserve, kind of shooting these pikes, maybe I should save a little bit of ammo on these guys. But, you know, alright, doesn't really make a difference. Thorax Sword's going to be able to kill off these Galatian Swords, but they're getting a lot of charges, which makes them, you know, more devastating for sure. Trying to get a second charge on this Railguard, but I'm just going to pull back and sacrifice this Egyptian Cav here. He does get the charge, but I have Tarantines in support, so my theory is that I can just Javelin them. Unfortunately, the Javelin the Galatian Sword, but I'm bringing in my Galatian Railguard to do some real damage to this Pace Lancer. Again, he only has 2 Cavs, so we can't afford to lose it very effectively. Carrying Axeman getting in the back of these pikes, killing them off. My Cav tries to get through here and kill the Slinger. Again, killing the Slingers makes it much easier for my Slingers to survive. You can see I'm pulling them back here. I've taken some losses, especially in the center unit, but not too bad. Here, one of his 2 Tarantines gets kind of exposed. It's surrounded by my 4 units, so it's going to get crushed here. My general goes for a charge, but again, this Pick Peltis are in quick support here, shooting off, so I just have to bail. I cannot get in this fight for too long with these Pick Peltis shooting at me, so I just dip. Glacian Rugger are going to kill off a Glacian Sword here very easily and headhunt. Pace Lancer goes for a nice charge here. I try to pull back this Egyptian Cav, but the Pace Lancer are doing a lot of damage to it. Here I'm getting the rear charge, my Citizen Cav again breaking through, so getting some nice charges there on these Glacian Sword, but it's only Citizen Cav, so it's not going to be too effective. One of Pace Lancer, or Tarantine Cav, sorry, is down. 3 Tarantines just surrounded it and killed it. My Slinger's nicely shooting the Pace Lancer again. These guys are pretty weak. This Cav routes though, and this Pace Lancer is still pretty healthy, so I've got to do something about that. I've also got to kill these Pick Peltis, or at least, you know, stop them from firing and kill some of the men so they don't have their maximum ammo. Here, this Militia Hoplite could be annoying. Again, I haven't really touched these guys, they're just sitting there. They get into my Slingers, could do a bit of damage. This Pike unit as well could stab a few guys. Finishing off this flank though, which is nice. You know, carrying Axeman, Thorax Sword here, finishing it off. Galatian Royal Guard charging in here. He has to counter this charge with this Pace Lancer because otherwise I'm going to get into his Pick Peltis too effectively. But his Agema Spear here is throwing javelins into the Galatian Royal Guard, which is very, very effective. Of course, easiest way to kill infantry units is just to kill them with missiles, right? They're not going to be fighting you. They're not using their good melee stats. They're just getting shot, and he's shooting them with a lot of shit right now. So they're going to start to go down very effectively. But I do kill off a Pace Lancer, so that's very positive. This Pace Lancer is still at 40 men, but it's, you know, not very healthy. He javelins this again, the Glacier Ragnar, but I do get a nice charge into the Gimme Spears. But his Pick Pelters are right behind this unit, and they'll start to throw javelins into the back, which would not be good. Other Tarentine is going to go down, however. And my Cav is still healthy. My General is here at 43 men, Tarentine's at 47, 34, 26, and 49. So nice Cav support. And again, if it goes to a late game and I have Cav, I can still win just with nice charges. But I'm losing the infantry war pretty handily here. Thorax Sword is going to go down 33 against 56. They're going to lose. Agema Spears, 80 against 41. In square, they're not going to kill very much here, so this fight's fine for me. But these Pick Peltas being alive is very bad, because they can chase my Slingers very effectively. Here they're starting to get javelins off into the back of my Royal Guard, so I just have to dip from fighting this. Of course, the problem is, you turn around, these guys also have javelins, so if he throws them in the back, that would be bad as well. But I am going to sandwich these Pick Peltas finally with the Thorax Sword, that one over here, and these Cav. So that's nice. Thorax Sword, still surviving here. I got a nice charge with my Gen into the back. But now it's the Pace Lancer cleaned up this Thorax Sword. It's going to clean up the rest of this flank pretty much. This Carrying Axeman just running away from these Galatian Swords, keeping them occupied. My Slingers do have some ammo left here, probably about 30% or so that's very nice. And these Pick Peltas are starting to die to these Galatian Royal Guard. So even with 23 men, they're still super powerful. Killing off one unit here, surrounding it. But the Agema Spear will come in here and save them. It's just a question of how many Pick Peltas actually die. This unit's wavering, so it might actually rout. Now we can take stock of what's going on here. He has some cheap shit left here, some pikes, some Galatian swords that are low on numbers. This Agema Spear gonna go down with the Slinger Fire. I have 3 Slingers, 3 Tarentines, so very nice there. They're pretty healthy. Got a nice Javelin volley on that Pace Lancer. My Gen is strong at 36 men, and I have some, leftover infantry units. I also have this Cav, but I do forget it for the rest of the battle, so no point in harping on that for too long. So yeah, 3 Slingers with about 30% of the ammo left. Of course, they can still do massive damage to these lower HP units, especially the cheap ones. Tarentine's very good at charging enemy infantry. I still have this 1 infantry unit left as well. 1 Pick Peltas is down, 1's still left. Don't know if that has javelins or not. Looks like it does. And now I'm just going to shoot the General. From this point on, my plan was very simple. I'll go into slow motion here. Actually, I really don't need to, because this game is forever. My plan is literally just to kill the General, because if we look at how many units are left, we have a Militia Hoplite here, undisciplined. Pick Peltas, undisciplined. Galatian Sword, undisciplined. The Pikes are disciplined, but they're shit. And the Galatian Sword, again, undisciplined. So if I can kill the Gen, that morale penalty will be big, and it'll allow my charges to be more impactful than just straight up routing units. Here, it gets a Pace Lancer, finishes off this unit, but you can see I did kill a few men because my Carrying Axeman had javelins left, so that's good. This unit's down to 27 men. It's going to be hard to use it very effectively against such strong Cav that I have. Even the Tarentines will do well against the Pace Lancers when they're low on HP. I'm going to shoot up this blob, kill them off, maybe a bit of waste of ammo, but you can see his army is very separated at the moment, so I want to kill off this blob, and then I can focus on the next, blob. And then my other goal, obviously, is to just kill the General, cause panic. They're going to be tired from chasing my, Slingers around. And Ragnar can't really box at this point. He, theoretically could, but I think I would be able to do enough damage with my 3 Slingers shooting only in the back. You just shoot the Pace Lancer, the Gen, it dies, and now you have a box with 2 pikes and some Militia Hoplites. That's probably not going to hold. So he's got to chase my Slingers and use this 1 Cav to kill them. So he's going to get tired, exhaustion, and then the General, if I can kill him, the General's dead, and then fighting, he'll be fighting cavalry units. That's another morale debuff. So I'm just going to stack morale debuffs and use that to mass route him, basically. So let's just triple speed through this because there's not much going on. He has his General alive though, so he can second wind his units, which is nice. But we can see tired. His pikes are fresh for now, but these Agema Spears are very tired, winded. Peltas are pretty fresh, but he's got a long ways to chase me to try to kill off these Slingers, and they still have ammo, so here's Pick Peltas get a bit exposed, so I'm going to go for the charge. Again, any exposed units, I'll just try to take them out. My Tarentines are still healthy, and they do very good in the late game. That's one of the things that you have to know, is that Tarentines do very, very well in the late game on charges, because they weigh so much. Just impact, pure impact damage. This Slinger, he used the Javelin volley with his Agema Spear, that was a waste. And these guys may be the only unit that's out of ammunition, so that's kind of bad. It was kind of glitching out there, so I was trying to get it to move properly. But this Pace Lancer is bearing down it. This guy unit has ammo, so I'm going to shoot up that Pace Lancer, of course, the first primary target. Pick Peltis down to 7 men, not really a threat anymore. But you can see how effective those charges were. You can see all the damage here in Pick Peltis. What, like four horses down there? So very effective for me. Get a nice charge in here with the Lancer. I can't keep it in for very long, of course, with the Galatian Swords inbound, so I just have to sacrifice the Slinger. It was out of ammo. Use it to get my general out of here. He's still at 30 men. The Hippopotamus Lancer down to 16, though it lost about 10 men in this exchange. My general, yeah, 28 men, still half strength, very useful against these shitty units. This unit would have been very nice to bring to the battle, but I did forget it, so oh well. This unit has, actually might be out of ammo as well, or, yeah, it has very little. So now I just have one unit with ammo. Not sure if he totally realized it, but he is going after it. I charge in here with my Tarentines again. They're going to do fine against the base lancers here. They didn't even get a charge, so totally fine. And now let's look at his stamina. Pike's very tired, Agema Spear is exhausted, Pike's tired, Militia Hoplites exhausted, and Galatian Sword is exhausted, and his general exhausted. So his whole army is exhausted. He does second win the Galatian Sword. Would have liked to see him sacrifice the, second win the Agema Spear though, more important. But it plays into my favor because now I can assassinate the general easier here. I'd see an opening here, general's exposed. My cav is getting kind of tired. I can second win some units, of course, with my gen, but not too much here. I'm gonna lose this Slinger. Did have ammo left, which is unfortunate, but I should have defended it better with my Tarentines. It gets a nice javelin volley, kills almost the entire unit, but the Apaeus Lancers at 2 men gonna rout the Slinger. So I'm out of Slingers. I'm not gonna cause him to be able to box at this point, basically, so you know, he moves here, and I realize, like, okay, I don't really have much time. He's going to be able to second win this whole army. They're going to be fresh. That's going to be a problem. If I can't kill his general soon, I'm going to lose the battle, because I have no ammo, he has 2 pikes, and a lot of hoplites and stuff. It's going to be tough. So, here, I'm killing off the last Pace Lancer, which is nice. And again, my plan is to stack morale debuff. So, fighting cav, exhaustion, general dead. And rear charges, basically. That should be enough for a mass route. So, here we go, I kill this unit off, finally. That's also an encouraged unit, I believe. That's gone. He's boxing up here, but I say, look, no time to waste. I need to go kill his shit, so I charge in here with my gens. Pikes are not in time to support or anything. Get a nice charge here through both Agema Spear units, so that is a nice charge. Rear charge coming from the Tarentines. My Slingers are out of ammo, but they can crucially rear charge units, so that'll be good. Waiting, attack in the rear, a lot of morale debuffs, and finally, General recently died. So I say, okay, General's dead, time to activate. Rear charges coming in here from all directions now. Even has pikes here, but he does kind of lift his pikes at the last second, so I get in there. Units are routing, and now the Agema Spears have routed. There's no encourage ability, so now all the morale debuffs are coming in. General recently died, attacked in the rear, exhausted. You can see it all here, all these different debuffs. And now things are going to start to rout. Galatian Sword's gone. Pikemen wavering, Militia Hoplites wavering. Pike's wavering, rear charge comes from the gen, routs this pike instantly, and that's the game. So, kind of clutch play from the gen and the cav here. They make it work and even the series up at 1-1. Looking at the kills here, nice kills on this Pace Lancer. Pick Peltis, really good. Swords did good. Pikes did okay, not really much. They didn't really fight anything though. Tarentines he kind of wasted, whereas my cav did excellent. Tarentines did excellent. Infantry not so well, especially on the left flank. On the right flank they did kind of good. Carrying Axemen ended up being kind of a good pick. Pikes did good. One of them, at least, the other 2 got shot, but they held, I guess. And Slingers did quite well. I mean, they were only killing high-value targets in the late game, so that's pretty decent. I mean, they could have got more kills, but he did a good job of killing them all. So, 1-1. We move into the next game. Peace out. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.